Something from nothing.
What in the Sam Hill is that?
A.W. Dry gawked, flanked by workmen with similar expressions. Normally, the men wouldn't be caught dead slacking in the presence of their manager. Then again, normally, only horses and trucks stood on the rails. They weren't sure what to make of this. Mr. Dry had built some unique vessels in his time. What stood before him was perhaps the most ramshackle thing he'd ever laid his eyes upon. His gaze shifted to the man at the controls of the engine, desperate for an answer to his question.
Hatt, what? The mining company wanted an engine, Mr. Dry, spilled the reply from behind his confident grin. And I have given them one.
Topham Hatt had every reason to feel triumphant. As A.W. Dry's chief engineer, he was used to, "Can this be done?" or "How can we make this work?" As such, nothing seemed amiss when the mining company requested an engine to relieve their tired horses. "Certainly. Will you be providing engine parts?"
"No, we won't."
"Will you be providing the capital to purchase the necessary parts?"
"No, certainly not,"
the company replied, as if it were the most ludicrous question. Hoping his superior could bring about a change to their agreement, he had been met with a defeated,
"We must make do with what we have."
The trouble was, they had very little, and so Topham was tasked with making something from nothing. He sat in his workshop, staring at the bits and bobs strewn about. If only the old crew at Swindon Works could see him now, he thought. Yes, if only they could see him now, standing atop his mechanical marvel.
"Is this, really an engine?" Mr. Dry asked, scratching his head.
"Well, I'm puffing steam. That's rather like an engine, I'd wager."
"Ethel!"
Topham hissed. "Sorry, Mr. Hatt," the engine blushed. "Just can't contain myself. I mean, I can move, all on my own."
"Could you not do that before?" Mr. Dry questioned, trying not to sound confused.
"Well, I could, if someone gave me a tow," Ethel chuckled. "Being a portable engine can be a bit dull. Just look what Mr. Hatt's done for me, though. Wheels I can move of my own accord."
"Of my own accord, Ethel," Topham smirked. "I'm not letting you run off without me."
Mr. Dry stood silently, fully absorbing what stood before him. How, he wondered, had Topham done it? How had he risen to the insurmountable task of conjuring an engine from thin air? Most importantly, how was this engine going to help complete their project? "Don't you fret, sir," Ethel chimed. "I'll haul your wagons wherever they need to go, whenever they need to go." Mr. Dry was stunned. Perhaps these steam engines had more intuition than he first thought.
"That's good news for us indeed," he replied at last. "Our plans are much grander than the horses can handle. I trust you're not afraid of hard work?"
"No, sir," Ethel beamed. "Mr. Hatt says we're laying a line along the coast. It'll be brilliant to see the seaside."
"Very good," Mr. Dry replied. "Well, Hatt, I tip my, hat to you. You'll find some wagons down the line ready to be taken away. Show us what your engine can do."
So, whistling gaily, Ethel puffed away, brimming with determination.
"Sir," muttered a workman, "you don't think that thing is really going to work, do you?"
Mr. Dry turned and stood stoically.
"There is a reason Hatt is my chief engineer, Davies. I have no doubt his engine will get the job done."
He turned back, watching Ethel disappear down the line.
And if its efforts mean we never have to dredge that blasted harbor again, I'll be a very happy man.